This next couple, they need no introduction. So I'm not going to give them one.
Oh,
No.
Each other for years.
Yes, no. Would you please welcome to the show? We are very excited, Jimmy and Jane Barnes. Now, Jimmy and Jane, lovely to have you both. Thank you so much for coming along.
Thanks for having us.
When it comes to Aussie music, you're an absolute superstar, but cooking?
I'm not bad, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty good nowadays. I've been trained by the best. You know, Jane's a fabulous cook, and I've been eating Jane's great cooking for, 45 years now, and I had to learn something along the way.
He didn't eat a lot in early days.
Yeah, and in the early days, it was more for fuel. You can see I'm annoying in the kitchen, too, you know?
It looks like a great setup there.
We have a great kitchen.
I don't know if I have a clue what's going on. So
Because most of the time I'm behind it doing...
Yeah. Can I just say, this is beautiful. So this is Jane and Jimmy's new cookbook, Seasons, Where the River Bends. It is really beautiful. It's all about seasonal cooking.
Yeah.
So
and everything, is about what we grow and how we, put it into the menu in our house,
it's taken years because it's every season we'd have to, when things were ripe or planted or growing, we'd have to call the photographer, hoping he's around, say, Alan, dash down
the
because...
tomatoes are ready.
Yes.
A big variety of stuff that we grow. That's like it's seasonal. So, I thought we were just putting a veggie patch in. We look like we're market gardeners. It's pretty incredible.
But if you grow things that you love to eat, you're going to love what grows.
Yes.
And because we have a big family, all the sisters and brothers and kids and stuff, what we don't eat, we sort of basket up and give it to the neighbours. It's really, it all gets cooked. Or Jane preserves it. She makes the best whiskey marmalade and really all great things that we have sort of preserved so we can use them all through the year.
With whiskey.
Very talented. The neighbours must love it because I'm sure you're belting out songs whilst you're digging away.
I sing to them. I said one of the trees we just moved, this big maple, Japanese maple, and we had to move it because we were doing some extensions. And I was so worried about it dying that I go out every day and I was patting it and singing to it. And I have to say it's bounced back.
It's actually grown some little leaves.
It's got leaves. It's growing instantly.
It's working.
The neighbours think you've lost the plot, but apart from that, it's starting to grow.
Little gardening joke there.
Oh, the plot, that was very good. Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
Quick, isn't it? I also love that you talk about, obviously, seasons and cooking and food, but you were talking about seasonal impacts on music.
Well, when I was writing some intros for the chapters, and I was thinking about the seasons, and for so many years as a rock and roll singer, I'd literally you get out of bed, at sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and after recovering from the night before, and staggering out to the show. And by the time you get there, the sun's going down, and so every night, every day felt the same because you're in backstage somewhere, or in a car travelling. It was so we didn't really take much notice. The only things I noticed were things like I noticed when it was getting cold and I'd have to dig the leather jacket out because it was freezing. So you'd have a rock and roll leather jacket, which doubles up as a swag. You can sleep it, you can use it as a pillow. Many a night I've fallen over in the bar and it's just saved me from broken glass and all that sort of stuff. But so you'd see more leather jackets, so you think, oh, it's getting cold, So I sort of noticed, and I've tried to put 2 and 2, when I sort of noticed the girls' skirts were getting shorter, it must becoming summer, You see the difference in the crowds, and there was a lot of, relating what I used to see about the seasons and what I see now, which is a totally different thing, of course.
Yeah.
What are the roles in the kitchen and the garden? Do we have a sous chef here anywhere, or...?
I'm the sous chef.
You've had some health issues the last few years whilst we've been doing this, so he's been excused.
Managed to weasel my way out of some of the gardening.
A lot of things.
Gee, it was a tough way to do it.
Yeah. But he's great on the grill. And the coals. You're very good at that.
I do a lot of charcoal. I love going. Well, we travel a lot. I mean, Jane and I used to date in Japan, and there's a restaurant where we used to go when we were dating 40 odd years ago in Tokyo, which we still go to today, and they cook everything on charcoal. And so I've over the years been trying to impress her with my charcoal.
Inspired by that.
And so I do lots of grilling. I've got smokers and wood ovens, and so I do a lot of cooking outside. I can cook a lot because I've over the years.
You're gravy king. You
gravy king.
Really make the best gravy.
I used to think I was a gravy king. Then I realised why they actually do it. All the kids, oh, Dad, you make the best gravy. Everybody says that. And then I realise at the end of making a big roast, you're there cooking for 3 or 4 hours. They're all exhausted. They just want to go and sit down and drink wine. And they go, Jimmy, yeah, do the gravy. You do it so well. And I'm the only guy at the stove, you know, going, trying to get rid of the lumps.
But who sits at the table and goes, oh, I think the gravy's particularly good?
I do. I sit down and go, I think I've done myself tonight.
Nice.
Now, the book was dedicated to all the health workers that you say saved your life.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
How are you going these days?
Well, I'm back in the garden.
You're back in the garden, yes.
Yeah,
and you're outperforming.
Yeah, no, you know, listen, I had some real scares. It's been about 3 years of serious surgeries. I got through. I had a hip replacement. First off, because of sort of some bad, you know, arthritis and things. But then, you know, I also put it down to old age, jumping down off of PAs and swinging like a lunatic for 50 years. You know, did it in. I got it fixed, and it was great. But then it got infected. I got a staph infection, and that nearly killed me. That was really serious. And that sort of set me right back. But, you know,
that wasn't because of the hip, by the way.
No.
It's got sepsis.
That's
anyway,
as well.
He doesn't remember anything.
Well, I was heavily drugged up.
The surgeons were saying to me, listen, you guys are more traumatised than him.
Yeah.
Because we'll remember everything.
Basically. I start telling the stories and Jen goes, no, it never happened. And it's true, because it just all melts into one. But it was over about 3 years. I had open heart surgery, 3 hip replacements, which was unheard of.
I didn't know you had 3 hips.
I neither did I.
I've learned something on this show tonight.
But even with 3 hips, I still can't dance.
But
you think you'd give me one that worked.
The second hip he did after that went out and did the Cold Chisel tour, which was insane.
I know. So I was like, you're supposed to wait sort of 3 months and stuff. I think I waited. I was rehearsing with Chisel 7 weeks in and had a physio. I was like a mummy. I was like a football player. I was taped up and it was like, and I could hardly get the leather pants on. But that's probably because I've been eating all the food.
Physios around in case he did.
In case it popped.
Hip.
Oh, there you go.
And the shows would have been gone. So I managed to get through the Chisel tour, and then I had to go back in and get it fixed again. And literally, you know, I'm sort of like run of the mill now. Get your hip done, do a tour, you know.
You're not exactly subtle when you're out performing either. You throw everything into it, which is what all us Aussies love.
And the funny thing is, I didn't realise, but all three hips have been on this one hip. And one of the things...
Hang on, I'm confused again. So, 3 hips on the one hip.
First one, and it got infected, and then they had to take it out, and then they had to put a temporary one in. While that killed all the infection, then we took it out and put a proper one in again. Until the first operation, I said, all right, I'll go back singing. I sing, everything I do, I sing off my left foot. I'm like this all night. You know?
Oh, yes.
And so all the weight's on there. So the physio said, can you sing like the other way, your right foot? And it's like putting your shoes on the wrong feet, you know? Underpants on backwards, you know? And, you know, just really the pain just made me scream a lot more, which nobody really noticed. They just thought, oh, he's singing well tonight.
He's belting them out.
Well, we are glad that everything is good. The book is beautiful.
No,
congratulations.
I'm so proud of it. It really is.
Absolutely beautiful and heavy book. And I'm going to put it in our little bookcase over there.
Oh, yay!
Well, we don't have one, but I'm going to put it over there.
And both of these books are sort of like, you know, these are gifts to our children, because all the recipes in both of the books are the food that they've been eating all their lives. And so they always come, whenever they come home, they go, oh, you know, Mum, can you make that, you know, such and such a dish? Now we give them the book, they can make their own. Yes.
That beats the old hand.
I'm just going to go over here and put it on me.
Good man, that looks lovely.
Yeah, and there you go. Well done, mate.
Recipes and stories from the garden of Jane and Jimmy Barnes. Seasons Where the River Bends. It is available now. Please thank Jane and Jimmy Barnes. And a little bit later on, of course, we can't have you in without singing. So Jimmy's going to sing. Jane, you're accompanying him, which I'm really excited about.
I'm going to try.
Amazing. Can't wait. A bit later on in the show.
Yeah, love to do it.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere.